Hello, everybody. Yes, I am in the car because we are at one of my baby's events right now, and it is hot, so I am not going to be on here long. I did want to come on. Thank you. So I did want to come on just quickly because I am at one of my baby's events, and they are playing at the playground with their dad and auntie. And so I'm Christine James. I'm a confidence coach and strategist. So I help budding coaches, speakers, and trainers develop a job exit strategy while doing what? Anybody remember? Boom, boom, boom. That's okay. But while they are packaging and price their brilliance for profit. And that's what I love doing because I think a lot of women, we are very talented and we are on jobs that are not paying us as much sometimes. So we can take care of our families and invest and do things for our families. So I love helping women bridge into entrepreneurship. That is a passion of mine. So how I started out in coaching was actually I applied. It's actually through failure, right? There's really no such thing as a failure. But I actually applied to dental school. So I did go to a HBCU. I loved it. And I applied to dental school and I ended up not getting in. But I felt like that's what God had called me to do, was to go into dental school because I love dental. And I remember when I was writing my personal statement and all my professors kept saying, it just sounds like you're going to be a motivational speaker. And I'm like, no. Like, I know people's dental is tied to their mentality. Like, so many people think they're not pretty or beautiful enough because they're self-conscious about their teeth. And I noticed when we fix their teeth, like, they have a whole new life. And I was like, I want to be part of that. I want their mental state to shift and they can enjoy their life because it actually affects their family. There's so many people that came in and said, oh, I just have bad teeth. How do you think you have bad teeth? Just because you have some crowding? It's because they grew up hearing that. So then they always thought they were bad and ugly. And that was years of me being in the dental field. And I kept feeling like God was calling me to be a dentist. But this is what I know. God will call you to what you know. Okay? Sorry, guys. The sun is really, really bright and I want to see your comments. But God will call you into what you know. And what I mean by that is sometimes when he's trying to take you out of a place where you are, he'll use something that you're familiar with. And what he did was use dental for me. I mean, that was familiar with me. Because if God told me I was going to be a coach and speaker at that time, before I went back to school, I would have said, ha, psych. You know, I'm like, that's not for me. That wouldn't be for me. But it wasn't until really I got my first mentor and my life really started changing. She really started speaking to me because I worked with other women at a clinic and I was the youngest woman on staff. A lot of those women were very negative and bitter and I don't blame them. I just wish I was wise enough at that time to know they were hurting and that hurt people give hurting advice, right? Advice that's not going to heal you properly. And those women did that. They gave a lot of toxic advice. They're very, not nice, right? But then also, I didn't have the mentality. I wasn't at the maturity level to come in and still enjoy my job, right? So I actually used to listen to Ludacris on the way to work. Move, B, get out the way. Yeah, that wasn't a good sign, right? Me going in, why do you think I had attitude coming in? Because of what I was listening to, really. So then I started changing what I was listening to. I met my first mentor at the clinic. She was also an older woman as well. And she's like 4'11", and I'm 5'8". And I remember seeing her, and I would just avoid her office because I was like, she's like every other NCOIC that comes in here. And no, she was different. She was really different. She was very consistent in who she was, how she showed up. She was very fair. And I was like, wait, I could be like that? I didn't even know that was possible. So instead of her coming into the clinic trying to impress everyone, like other people I've seen, other women that come into the clinic, she came in really to express to me the possibility of being a better woman, wanting more for my child, because I had one son at the time, and I was a single parent. And I was like, well, then I started opening up. And the only reason why I started opening up because I end up so God uses everything, okay? He's not wasteful. He uses everything. And I end up getting robbed when I was at work. They took all the electronics out my house, right? And I'm like, what? So it was sad. However, it gave an opportunity to give. And she was we worked with like 40 or 50 other people where I worked at for the Department of Defense. But she was one of the 5 people that donated for me to get a laptop. I didn't know that until they called me into the office, because I already was dealing with other stuff at the clinic, but they called me into the office. I was a good worker. I love what I did. I love patients. I always got great rewards for that. I always got put in for high customer customer satisfaction things. Like, I was passionate about that because I wanted people to have a good dental experience. But I got called into the office. I went in there and they're like, hey, we know what happened to you. Because one of my supervisors who were transitioning out, I told him what happened. He's the only one that knew what happened. And she just started there, and she donated a large portion to get me a laptop. And this was back in 2012. And I hurried up and left the room because I was not in the place to know how to receive. And I know a lot of times as a woman, it's hard for you to receive. It's so easy for you to give because you think that's a good girl title, right? People make you feel guilty for receiving over time. And sometimes we take that on as, oh no, if I don't receive and I go without, that means I'm more humble than the next. That does not mean that, okay? That's just something that's going to keep you in lack and keep you actually really open the door for bitterness and resentment. And I don't want that for you. So it was hard for me to receive that they would do something that nice for me. And she didn't even know me. So I was like, and she was already working there for a few weeks. And I'm like, why would you do that? So I slowly went into her office and trickled in, and she smiles at me. And she says, she's like, no, God just allowed me to do that. And I'm like, what? You know, this is before I was like born again. And I was like, nah, nobody just does that, you know? But she did it out of kindness of her heart. And that opened up a door and changed my life drastically. Okay. I went into her office and I would talk to her, and she was like, you know what? And after I started getting more into the word and studying and changing my mindset, and I was like, well, this is actually the dream I have. Like, I feel like God's calling me to go to Georgia. I feel like he's calling me to go back to school. And I was like, I feel like I'm gonna go to school for free. Now, if I told this to the women on my job, which I did feel like I was supposed to leave, I did say that. All those women said, no, that ain't gonna happen. It's a furlough. Ain't no one's gonna hire you. You gonna hear my babies get in. Sorry. You guys hear all my children come in. But okay, I stepped in.
But now I'm safe.
All right.
Well, that's what you mean.
This is live in real life, guys. Live in real life. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. With that being said, I know you guys cannot hear me like that. So let me move this way. Okay. Sorry about that. This is live in real life. I have a lot of kids. All my boys are loud. They're loud. Just, I don't know why, but I'm happy for them. But yeah, so when she did that, I shared my vision with other people, but those women were so hurt and bitter that they couldn't even say, oh yeah, you'll get hired. They kept saying, oh, no one's gonna hire you, right? This is before I transitioned out of the government. This is me working still for the government, got a lateral transfer. Fast forward, she was actually the one that said, hey, you're supposed to be speaking into other women's lives. I was like, what? I don't even get along with women. I always wanted women friends, but it was just a lot of toxicity that a lot of times as us women, we carry. You know, we look at our other sister as if they're competition, and they're not competition, right? Our old selves are competition. And I was like, okay, so I ended up going back to school, and I said, God, you know, I don't know how to take out loans for school. I don't want to take no loans out. I want all school paid for it. And I heard school's gonna be paid for it. Guess what? I applied for scholarships. There's some I got and some I didn't. And I did get a lot of scholarships where I was able to go to school for free. I didn't have to take any student loans out. So guess what I did? I taught other students when I went to school each month how to go to school for free. A lot of the people didn't apply it. I gave them printouts and templates of my own statements and things so they can be successful. But I noticed it was a mindset thing, right? It was a mindset thing that they didn't believe they could get the scholarships. But that's the first thing you have to do for any dream that you have. One, you have to believe. First, you have to have the desire. The second, you actually have to believe that you are worthy of what God has put in you, what you're picturing for yourself. If it's a new house, if it's a new car, if it's a relationship, if you're desiring that and you are seeing it in your mind and you're believing it for yourself, it's going to happen. But a lot of times we don't allow ourselves to visualize, right? We don't allow ourselves to visualize. But how, if you don't visualize, how do you act on a thought you never thought of? Think about it. Think about it. If you never thought a thought, how would you act on that thought if you never thought it before? That's why visualization is so important. So I was already doing coaching even on the job, and I was coaching already when I was at school. And I didn't know that I was really doing that, but I had it on my vision board to do after I got out of dental school. So after I graduated, I applied to dental school and I didn't get in. I was like, okay, I applied again. I didn't get in. And I looked up at my vision board and I saw a magazine cut I put out. It says, I am her voice. So when I seen that, I knew what that meant to me. I'm going to be coaching and speaking to other women. So with that being said, I had to hear that God said, so you're going to wait 4 years until another woman can change their life. You know how many women's lives changed within the last 2 years of me speaking to them and talking to them? Actually over the years, but just through my coaching business. So many women's lives have changed, and I'm so excited that I was able to be a vessel for that. You know, I just shared the information, but they took that information and transformed their lives and their families' lives. And that's something I'm so passionate about. That's why I said the entrepreneurship I'm passionate about. And not a lot of times you feel led to leave your 9 to 5 yet. That's okay. But if you have any seed that you are ready to transition out of your 9 to 5 and you want to start your own business, definitely to close that gap, you want to invest in coaching. And I know sometimes that's scary. The word spending is not associated with investing. That's two different things. We spend our money every day. We spend our money on frivolous things that will be in the dump within the next 2 years. But investing, you get a rate of return of it monthly, daily, yearly, even in generations when you invest. So I encourage you to start changing your language. I encourage you to start desiring, like really emitting that desire that you have for your family and for yourself, that change. Also realize that you don't have competition. I know that sounds crazy, but you don't have competition. Your competition is the old you who's always trying to invite you back to that old life. Okay? And you have to journal, right? You have to see your thoughts on paper sometimes so you can say, oh, that's a crazy thought. You know, let me go ahead and not talk like that anymore. But my journey into coaching has been so fulfilling. I'm able to talk about things that I couldn't talk about when I was on my job, where women will come talk to me and I'd be like, well, you know, I studied this, I read this scripture, but you know what? God also I didn't waste any time me going to school. Yes, I got a BS in biology. I love neuroscience. I love cellular molecular biology. The reason why I took the route of biology, because I was challenged, because I was told I wasn't smart enough when I was younger. I told I wasn't pretty. I told I was ugly. And all those littling thoughts. I even had counselors at school that said, oh, you shouldn't even try to go to school, like you're not going to make it, go to college. So I held onto those truths, right? I held onto those truths, and it affected how I showed up in every area of my life, in relationships and everything. I don't want any other woman to go through what I went through. I feel like it can be prevented when we speak life into each other. I feel like it can be prevented when we actually love ourselves and get taught to how to love ourselves and not feel guilty for loving ourselves in a healthy way. Because in many of you, even watching the replay of this, you know how I feel about the word deserve. I don't like the word deserve, because people are like, oh, you deserve it, girl. No, you're worthy of it. You're worthy of success. You're worthy of love. You're worthy of amazingness. Deserve, a lot of times people use that on both ends of the spectrum. One end of the spectrum, if you feel like you're doing all the right things and you're going to school and you get the job and you're paying your bills on time, that nothing bad should happen to you. That's a lie, because you'll totally have a breakdown when something happens to you. Then and you actually can get judgy on that side. Then on the other end is that you made mistakes, so you think you deserve to have a bad life. You didn't pick the right relationship. You deserve to have a bad life. You think of these things and this word is overpowering you, right? No, you're worthy of having an amazing life. You're worthy of having an amazing life. Okay, no one can take that from you. That is your birthright. Okay, you're worthy of having the success that you are desiring at night when you're laying in bed. No one can take that from you, right? And don't stop helping people take that from you by agreeing with them. Okay, stop that. Don't agree with them. I'm telling you, agree with me right now. Okay, until you start like knowing it for yourself. Agree with me that you are worthy of having that success, because The word deserve, if you break it up, is actually Latin, right? It means of service. Everything you've been through, again, God is not wasteful. It makes you better of service. There's things I prayed about in the past that I said, God, please, I'm already relatable about other things. I don't want to be relatable on this level. But then it happened. But it's so I could be better of service. I can relate to the single mom. I can relate to the single mom working. I can relate to the single mom that was working and going to school. I can relate to the mom that was started her own business. I can relate to the mom that had a miscarriage, right? I can relate to those women and to encourage them because I've been there. None of us like hearing anything from people like fluff. You haven't been through what I've been through, so you're not knowing that struggle. So as a coaching, how I came across this, it just allows me on a platform where I can speak into other women's lives. And I believe that they're successful already. A lot of the women I speak to don't believe they're successful. They don't believe they're beautiful. And I'm like, how? You're so beautiful. And it's not even what you're doing. You just are. It's not what you're doing. It's just who you are. You are worthy. You are made with purpose. Like, you don't have to find your purpose. You're already made with purpose. So I just want to send those encouraging words today because, like I said, my coaching journey has led me here to be able to speak to thousands of awesome and amazing women, be on radio, be on podcasts, do speaking events. There's another speaking engagement that we're doing. That's going to be, you're going to start seeing that come out May 7th. I'm so excited about self-love. And collaborating and networking with a lot of other amazing women who are doing the work and showing up and being healthy. That I love doing that. I love speaking into other women's lives. And I think as women, when we become healthy, we're able to continue that, right? It doesn't just stop here after this live. I encourage you to continue to speak in that. And it's just not that. Like I said, I have all boys. I have 4 boys. My husband, it's all boys in the house, right? Again, the most dangerous part of the house is the bathroom. Okay, I'm going to just be honest with y'all right now. But I have all boys, and I do speak into my babies' lives, because I want them to be able to attract awesome women that they're supposed to be with. And I want those women healthy. But I know if I'm speaking to their mothers, those women are going to be, those young women are going to be brought up healthy. So it's all, but I know who God designed me to speak life into, right? And the same thing with you. You know where God's leading you. And it's just you, again, just having that desire, knowing what you want and not feeling guilty for what you want. And then also believing that it's possible for you. Because you can see evidence everywhere it's possible. If you see someone else making millions of dollars, that's evidence that it's possible. So it can happen for you if that's what God is calling you to do. Because He may want you to invest and build other things with that $1 million, right? But success is only unique to you. It's like a fingerprint. It's not like everybody else's, right? Your success is not going to look like the next person. But your success is your success. And like I said, coaching is my success, where I get to pour in and talk to other women and get this platform. It's a privilege. Really, it's a privilege, so I can speak into other women's lives and them inboxing me and telling me their breakthroughs and how, oh my goodness, I overcame being insecure, right? I'm not hiding anymore. I love those things. I love it. I love it. I love it. So thank you for coming on this live. You can hear all the stuff in the background. Hopefully you were able to hear this clear, and then you heard all my kids jump in here, but that's okay too. And because that's life, right? And I got to enjoy my babies, and that is the freedom of a 9-to-5. And that's another mindset shift coming at your 9-to-5, if I may share that, is that sometimes you feel guilty for taking off of work because people on the job make you feel guilty for taking off of work. And sometimes you bring that into your business when you're entrepreneurship. No, it's your job. It's not your job, but it's your career. It's your business that you're building. You're scheduling because you want to make that freedom around your family and enjoy them. And now you're making that possible. But you don't have to bring that 9-to-5 mentality into your entrepreneurship. You can take time off to hang out with your kids, hang out with your husband, enjoy reading, breathe, right? You can enjoy that. And you don't have to bring that in, because a lot of times at 9-to-5, they make you feel guilty for just who you are, for the color of your skin. They make you feel guilty for how you talk. They make you feel guilty for how you look. They make you feel guilty for how your hair looks. My hair is naturally curly. And they'll say, oh, you don't look professional. Well, do you want to do my hair every morning? That's the 9-to-5 mentality. But I own my own business. This is my natural. There's other women that say, oh my goodness, I love that your hair is curly. My hair is curly too. I do like it straight because sometimes I don't like dealing with it in the morning. However, I'm sharing that to share. You can see them being crazy in the back. But I share that to share is that don't bring that 9-to-5 mentality into your entrepreneurship. You don't have to have those type of regulations for yourself anymore. They taught you how to do that. In the 9-to-5 to disown yourself and not love yourself and think something's wrong with you, but really it was the culture, right? And they didn't have diversity and inclusion in there, right? They really had exclusion because you didn't look like them. And that's another thing on my path into coaching where I actually got denied a job because they said, well, you don't look like us. And I didn't understand what they were saying. Then I looked around. They were all white, petite, blonde hair females that worked at this particular clinic. And they denied me from a job because they said I didn't look like them. That's what was said to me. And I was like, oh, I didn't even understand it fully. But I'm glad for the experience because I wouldn't have been able to grow there, right? I'm able to grow doing things now and helping other women. So I could say, hey, I've been through this. I understand this. But you don't have to take that. You don't have to get mad because someone said they want to work with you because of how you look. Who cares? There's a lot of other women that want to work with you, right? But sometimes when you're at 9 to 5, you're limited to who you work with. Co-workers too, clients you may take, or customers or anything like that. You're limited. You only can take what you can take, right? But when you have your own business, you can work who you want to work with. You can talk about God if you want to talk about God. You can talk about your faith in your own business. You can do that. You hire your own staff. You hire who you want to work with. You don't have to take that 9 to 5 mentality into your entrepreneurship because you will be stuck. You'll be trying to look like everybody else, and you don't have to do that. You be who God is calling you to be. So you guys already know, if you would love to know more, I do have for Women's History Month, there's a job extra strategy free. It's free. And if you're still at your 9 to 5, you want to transition out, and you want to go do your coaching and speaking and training business, and you want to start packaging that up within the next few months, DM me ready. DM me ready. Okay? And then even if you have questions about mindset shifts and, well, how do I do about this? I mean, a lot of women asking a lot of amazing questions. And I am going to do a Q&A. And I'm going to just list all the questions that they're talking about. Wide ranges, right? From business essentials, basic business, how to help people that need help and they're not getting the help they need. But how do you show up for them? And how do people that are even being more resistant to you changing? Because resistance comes even when you're changing. Maybe not from you all the time, but it could be from the people that you love. And DM those questions. Like, don't be afraid, because what you don't ask, you won't know. Okay? So, again, my name is Christine James. Thank you so much for joining me on this different Thursday background and noise. And thank you for joining me. I am a confidence coach and strategist, and I help budding speakers, coaches, and trainers develop a job extra strategy while packaging and pricing their brilliance for profit. And I enjoy you. So I go live 3 times on Thursdays. I go live every single Monday, Manifest Monday, with Lucretia, who's my collab partner. And so I go 3 times a month. So next Thursday, you won't see me on a live, but you will see me on a live the following one. And that'll probably be my live Q&A and answering all the questions I got over all social media and emails. But if you have any questions, again, just DM me. Don't be afraid to do that. I enjoyed you all, and I will talk to you later. Bye.